Hey everyone, today we're going to get into the entertainment on board of Norwegian Encore. I had a great time on this cruise and the entertainment that I saw was spectacular, but maybe there just wasn't enough entertainment. Let's go talk about it. Hey everyone, John here from Bite Size Cruises. Welcome back to our channel. If it's your first time here, thanks so much for checking out our video. Today we're going to talk all about the entertainment on board Norwegian Encore. When I go through entertainment, I like to break it down into a few different categories. Those categories are going to be the cruise director and the cruise director staff. We're going to talk about theater shows. We're going to talk about atrium shows because NCL does a lot of entertainment in the atrium. We're going to talk about the Cavern Club, the Headliners Comedy Club, the game shows. Some of those take place in the atrium. And then the theme parties, and last but not least, the performers around the ship. So let's get right into the cruise director and the cruise director staff. Our cruise director was Rod. He is from the Philippines. Most of the cruise director staff was from the Philippines and Brazil. They were great. I don't have any complaints about the cruise director staff. My complaint is more with the structure of cruising. As we kind of get into bigger and bigger ships, you don't get as familiar with the cruise director and the staff as you used to on the smaller ships. Now, that does depend on line too, because I felt like when I was on Carnival Jubilee, Kindle Fire was everywhere. I feel like sometimes it depends on the staff or the line of how involved the cruise directors are. Carnival, they're a little more involved. Royal Caribbean, especially on the bigger ships, you don't see them at all. On the smaller ships, you see them all the time. And then Norwegian's a little bit hit or miss with what's going on the cruise. But the cruise director staff handles a lot of the different shows, and the cruise director I found at certain big events. But he was great. Everything about the cruise director and the staff were great. They run the trivia. They run all the different dance things up on deck, all the different parties. They're involved in everything. If it has anything to do with entertainment, cruise director and their staff are running it. So from that perspective, they did a great job. So next up, let's talk about the theater shows. First up, let's talk about Choir of Man. Simply spectacular. One of the, if not the best cruise theatrical performance. It hits all the notes on like great shows for a cruise. So you have these performers. It takes place in a pub. They're giving out beers. They're interacting with the people in the theater. So from that perspective, I think it's amazing. It really does kind of highlight the staff. It highlights the people in the audience. So I think that works great on a cruise. So for my money, Choir Man is probably the best show I've ever seen on a cruise ship. Probably. Next up, we had other people in the theater. So we had the Beatles Invasion in the theater. Now they usually perform in the Cavern Club, so we'll categorize that separately. And then the comedians. So I've talked about the comedians before. Corey McKellis was one of the comedians in the comedy club. Corey McKellis was one of the best comedians I've ever seen on a cruise. He was great. Hit all the, had some material, probably 15, 20 minutes of material, did some crowd work, maybe 15, 20 minutes of crowd work. Just a great show. Really kind of got in with everybody, held the room, kind of mastered everything around him, did a great job. In the theater, I didn't see Mike Head in the comedy club. In the theater, I thought they were both funny. However, it was the same material. Again, I've said it before. Not that that's their fault. If you're going on a 7-day cruise, there's no way I expect the comedians on my cruise to have 3 hours of material. And they were performing 3 or 4 shows throughout the week. And this is going to become a recurring theme about the entertainment. The entertainment I saw on the ship was awesome. But it just felt like there wasn't enough entertainment. So now keep in mind, they used to have 2 big shows on all of these different ships. Bliss used to have 6 and Jersey Boys. Encore used to have Choir of Man and Avenue Q. They had another show, another big show. When we were on Joy, they had Footloose and then the other shows in the theater. So this is a thing that's happening with cruise lines in general. I think they're cutting back since the pandemic on production. One of my other pet peeves, not really a pet peeve, because again, the entertainment on the ship was great. There's no live music. There's no band, right? There's live music. There's performers. but there's no band, there's no singers and dancers on the cruise ship. So there's no other production shows. It's choir band or it's nothing. So, and then the Beatles Invasion group was in the theater. I thought they were great. I think that they're really great in the Cavern Club. Small theater, couple, like maybe 150, 200 people, whatever that room holds. And they were really good. They interacted with the crowd. But here's the thing. They did like 3 or 4 shows in the Cavern Club. So they did like early Beatles, mid Beatles, late Beatles. And then they did kind of replica shows or bigger shows in the theater. And how many times, like if you're going to see a show every night, which I don't know, maybe everybody doesn't do that, but I like to at least try to go to a show every night. And when you're going to the show every night, and like I wound up seeing them sing the same songs over and over again, I still had a great time. They were excellent. I don't have any complaints about it. My complaint is just that you could see where there's not as much going on as there used to be. That's it. That's my only thing. I'm not complaining about it at all. I don't want to get banned from filming. So anyway, just kidding. Next up, let's talk about the Cavern Club, because I thought the Cavern Club, I love that little area. It's weird. I never used to like go in there because it was always too crowded, especially coming right out of the pandemic. It was so crowded, it was so hard to get in there. But now in my last few cruises I've done, Sid Norman's Poorhouse and the Cavern Club, it's the same space, but they use it for different things. I love that venue. You do have to get there early. I wish they did like multiple shows. I know it's impossible to do that. So I just wish there was more of an opportunity to get in there. It's a great venue. The Beatles shows in there were incredible. So thumbs up for that. Headliners Comedy Club, we talked about it. I thought Corey and Mike did a great job. I didn't see Mike in the Comedy Club, but he was very funny when I saw him in the theater. And Corey was amazing in the Comedy Club. Then let's talk about game shows. So you have lots of game shows. Again, I think these game shows are great. I think this is where they're moving towards. I think it's a little bit, since they're paying for licensing, I think maybe it's a little cheaper way to put on another production show where you're in the theater for something, because they do Wheel of Fortune 2 nights. So just like they did Family Feud on Carnival Jubilee. I love it. It's really fun. Family Feud's amazing on Carnival. I thought Price is Right was awesome on Prima. Wheel of Fortune is fun. They're doing that on many ships. My only thing is like there is a pay-to-play element. You have to pay to play, so it's like another form of bingo, which is fine. I don't have a problem with it. But the show is very good. It does take place in the theater, so that is 2 more nights in the theater. Then you have the 2 nights of Choir of Man. So then you're left with 3 more nights to fill in the theater if they're doing shows. Now that forces a lot of the game shows like Deal or No Deal, Crowd Trivia, Love and Marriage, all of those things to be out in the atrium. And by and large, these shows were great. My one critique of these shows, and I've talked about it in my review and in ad nauseum on all the different Breakaway and Breakaway Plus class ships. I love these ships. I love Norwegian. Again, don't want to get banned from filming. Sorry. But my biggest complaint is that the atrium's just too small. I wish they had like a second theater, like a little bit of a smaller theater. I don't know where, I don't know how they could do it. I know on like some of the ships, they have the Illusionarium, like on Getaway, and Breakaway has like a little theater, secondary theater there. But the atrium's just a little bit too small, and you find like they're putting folding chairs there and everybody's standing around it. Everybody's up in the local watching it. So great area if it was a little bit bigger, or if there was like a secondary lounge, like the old Spinnaker lounge that the cruise ships like Princess and all used to have. I think that would be awesome. Even like 270 on Anthem and them, where you have like a secondary theater in the back there. So otherwise, those shows are great. You know, they're always funny. It's always funny to go to the Love and Marriage show, even though, you know, it's the same jokes. But it's very, very funny. Now let's talk about trivia and everything else that went on. Those are always fun. They do Sudoku in the morning, trivia all day. There's constantly things going on in the atrium. I love that. And then let's talk about the theme parties. So coming from Carnival Jubilee and then going on Encore, it was a big step down in the theme parties. So a lot of times on Royal, you have the theme parties in the Promenade, right? If you're on an Oasis or, you know, one of even like the Freedom or any of those ships, Liberty and all, you have the parties, even Adventure and Explorer, you have the Promenade parties. And there might not be that many people there, but it looks so crowded because it's a smaller space. And just by way of it being on the promenade, there's naturally people there, so people just wander into it. The theme parties on the Breakaway Plus class ship, if you don't have a Spice H2O, which is the big kind of open area in the back of the ship, they take place on the pool deck at night. So sometimes it's a little chilly. Sometimes there's, you know, shows going on or other things going on. I just found that most of the time up at the parties, there was really nobody there. There was a decent amount of people, maybe like 100 or so people, 200 maybe at the 80s party. The glow party was pretty empty, as you saw from the footage. And same thing with the other parties. They were just kind of quiet, which is fine. It's what I'm used to. But then I went on Carnival and saw like, whoa, these parties are like jumping. So a little happy medium maybe would be nice. Try to get like a few hundred people up there. But otherwise, you know, good music, they're fun, but there's just nobody there. The performers around the ship, let's talk about it. We had Q, Texas Smokehouse, the Atrium, the pool, the Observation Lounge. I thought, for the most part, the entertainment was okay. Those bands never blow me away. Every once in a while, you get like an amazing performer. Like I was on Bliss and Bo Tahana was on there. He was in like the District Brewhouse and all. He was awesome. I was on Joy with Meg last year, and Julia Hatfield was on there in the Observation Lounge, and Q-Tech Smokehouse. She was great. So it's hit or miss with those. They changed those people a lot. So the performers were okay. Again, I thought all of the entertainment on board NCL Encore was amazing. As per usual, I think NCL does a really good job with entertainment. I just am feeling the cutbacks a little bit as it pertains to the theater and those kind of bigger production shows. I love to go to singer and dancer shows. I know maybe, you know, as we move forward, Gen Z and millennials, maybe they don't like that as much and they're kind of phasing those out a little bit. But I do love a good production show. So that's a little disappointing, but everything is awesome. So if you're going on Encore, you're going to love the entertainment. Make sure you make a reservation for Choir of Man. It is spectacular. Hope you enjoy it. Thank you so much for watching the video today. Let me know what you think. Have you been on Encore? Did you like the entertainment? Any standouts for you? We would love for you to subscribe to our channel. Come along and join us on this journey here. We give you expert tips about cruising, some insider access, and we have this amazing cruise community here. So please come and join us on this, and we will see everybody later. Thanks so much. Bye.